Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host this evening, Logan Landers. And joining me to talk about the 2021 UCF Knights team preview is my man, the best beard in all of sports broadcasting, Jay McLovin. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, it's good to be here, Logan. We got, Central Florida up today. Ready to talk some college football.
Yes, sir. The UCF Knights is who we're talking about today, and it's going to be a good one, promise you that. But, hey, if you guys enjoy this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe whether you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch. We appreciate all the comments and likes and shares you guys have been doing. Also, please go check out our podcast available anywhere you can listen to your podcast. We have something coming up on a daily basis, so we always make sure you have your daily football fix whenever you're doing each and every day. So, Jay, let's get into this one, man. What was it? The 2018 uncrowned national champions from back in the day, the UCF Knights. We're talking about their 2021 year. What do you like about this team? What do you think they're going to be doing this upcoming year?
You know, they were supposed to be what I like about them, honestly, is they were supposed to be in a rebuilding year last year, but they wound up going 6-4. And when you go 6-4 on a rebuild year, you know that speaks volumes for your team. So I like that. I think they got a new head coach and Gus Malzahn, and they were 8th in points, 2nd in yards last year, at 568 and 42. So I like what they did last year, considering that they were in a rebuild year. They actually have 8 starters from that rebuild year back, so they got more power to the running game, the ball control. Or should I say, the difference from last year is I see them having more power to the running game this year. I think they're going to have better ball control, and they're going to increase their short to mid-range passes, and they're going to see more tight end play. So I see quite a bit of overhaul with Malzahn there in terms of what they're going to be doing. And they have a great quarterback in Gabriel coming back this year. And if you know anything about Gabriel, he threw for almost 3,600 yards last year with 32 touchdowns and 4 picks. So he doesn't turn the ball over a lot, but he does score. And I think with Malzahn there, I think that octane on that offense is only going to go up higher. And I do think that they're going to be way better than 6-4 this year than they were last year, Logan.
Yeah, I think this team's definitely in a better position. Like I said, new head coach, Gus Malzahn. He's been at Auburn forever. Josh Heupel went over to Tennessee to start with the Volunteers. So it's a new day for the UCF Knights. And like I said, for a team who was supposed to be kind of in a rebuilding type of year, they did pretty solid last year. And, I mean, I think that all in all, they're looking pretty promising this year for the AAC Championship. I mean, they got a lot of good guys. I like Gabriel. He's a good quarterback. And they have a pretty decent rushing attack, too. They got Bentavious Thompson, who's a senior, who did a pretty good job. They also have 2 young guys coming in, former Auburn running back Mark Anthony Richards. They also have Isaiah Bowser as well, who's coming over from Northwestern. So that running game is definitely going to pick up, I think, and that's really going to help out. But the key for me, Jay, is what's going to happen at wide receiver, because you lost your number 1 guy in Marlon Williams, who got almost 130 yards a game in 2020. Man, I mean, it looks like it's going to be Jalen Robinson who's going to step up to the plate, but you never know. You don't know who's going to come in, who's going to have a good year. You also have Brandon Johnson coming in from Tennessee, Jordan Johnson from Notre Dame, and also you get Nate Craig Myers, another one from Auburn. So you got a lot of good transfers, I think. So that really helps out this Knights team. How do you think that overall just their receiving core and just their entire offense is going to rock with?
Yeah, again, so Robinson is a small, but he's a speedy guy. So they're going to rely a lot on him and his speed to get, to break things open, because he doesn't have a lot of height. So he's going to have to be fast, and I think that's going to compensate. Just kind of like what Tyreek Hill is doing for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's not a big guy, but he's fast. And so that's what they're going to have to rely on Robinson. Hey, look, man, you ain't got the height, but you're speedy, so we're going to need that speed. So if he can do that, if he can turn on those afterburners and get open for the ball, then I think they're going to be just fine. Also, don't forget tight end Jake Hescott, who got 3 touchdowns last year. I think they're going to be spread the ball around between the tight end, and I think that they're good that they have him back. So that gives a comfortability factor that you have your tight end back who can block, but also get you some short mid-range passes if you need them, and also have the speed and Jalen Robinson. And I don't know a lot about Myers yet, and I don't know. I know that Colorado State deep threat to go with Brad Johnson from Tennessee. So I know that that Myers is a deep threat, and we'll have to wait and see more about how he does. I didn't really get a whole lot on him, but I know they did use him at Colorado State as a deep threat. So it looks to me like Gabriel is going to have a guy that's quick and fast. He's going to have a deep threat, and he's going to have a guy that on the tight end that can spread the ball around or spread the field around and get that short mid-range pass to. And like you said, they got running backs, Batavius Thompson, and they also got that transfer Harvey, who's a quarterback turned running back.
That's great. That's great to see.
I would love to see them use Harvey and some wildcat formations.
Ooh, I like that.
Do some trickery with that, since he also has the ability to throw the ball as well. So I don't know. I mean, I think I'm not gonna tell the man how to. I'm not. Malzahn, he's got his own bag of tricks. But if I was him and I had a running back that also has quarterback talents, I might try to figure out some kind of way to maybe work one or two plays in there with him, just to kind of keep the defense on their toes.
Yeah, they definitely could play around with that offense, man. They could do some trickery if they need be. But, I mean, I think this offense is going to be fine all in all because you got some good guys who are transferring over. You got a solid quarterback. I think they're going to be fine on the offensive side of the ball in 2021. Let's talk about the defensive, though.
As long as you got that field general, though, man. Look, as long as you got a field general that knows how to throw the ball and doesn't give up a lot, and you got most of your starters back. Look, let me tell you something. An O-line that has all 5 starters back. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's good.
You got the quarterback. You got the offensive line. You got some decent wide receivers and some good running backs. I mean, how do you not improve upon 6-4? It is beyond me.
Yeah, I think they will. But the thing for me is, how's this defense going to hold up? Because they lost some firepower on that defense side of the ball. They lost Richie Grant, who was, an amazing player for UCF. He went on to the NFL for the Atlanta Falcons. So how are you going to fill his shoes, man? Because that is a powerhouse you just lost. I mean, they got Derek Gaines, who looked good last year. As a reliable safety. He was 4th on the team in tackles as well. So I think he might step up and play a bigger role. You also have Georgia transfer Devon Wilson, who showed some flashes as well. Is he going to be able to do another full-time job at the safety position? We'll see. And they got a lot of freshmen, man. They had a lot of freshmen last year, so they got a little bit of more experience now. But I'm not sold entirely on this defense all in all. They do have a few holes and some things they can work on for sure, but I think this is more of an offensive-heavy team as opposed to defense. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, obviously, the defense was a problem last year. Look, man, they struggled to get off the field. Everybody knows they struggled to get off the field.
Right.
Hell, man, they give up 500 dang yards and 33 points a game. But, there's experience there to work with. They have 9 starters coming back, right? So that's not a bad thing. You still have a continuity there. You just got to basically build upon that continuity and keep developing those players to get the production out of them that you're looking for. Now, on the D-line, they do get Auburn's transfer and Big Cat Bryant. They also get who's an interior pass rusher, Ricky Barber from WKU into the rotation. So you get 4 starters coming back along with these 2 guys thrown into the rotation. And I think you will see some improvement on that D-line. Then you go and you look at the linebacking core of Eric Gilliard, veteran to go with veteran linebacker, 215-pound Tatum Bethune. And they are fast and they can move. So if you got some speed and you got some guys that can fly to the ball on that linebacking core to go along with that defensive mindedness on the defensive line in Big Cat Bryant and Ricky Barber, and that could be your turnaround point for this defense. Now they got some size and experience at the corners, and a safety in Derek Gaines, who's a veteran. So they got some size, they got some experience at the corners. Do they need a little improve upon the secondary? Yes, they do. And hopefully with Malzahn coming in and that defensive coordinator will get together and they will develop these guys a little bit more. But at least you got a veteran coming back that can help guide this team in the secondary.
Yeah, I think that this defense it is going to have struggles. Like I said, they gave up a lot of yards last year. But I think that they'll be fine. They'll hang in there, I think. Because, I mean, looking at their schedule, it's pretty easy for the most part. I mean, the only 2 games that are kind of tough for me that I'm looking at the moment, I see Cincinnati. That's going to be a tough one. And then Boise State week 1. But other than that, Jay, I think this is a very winnable schedule if you're a UCF Knights fan. What did you think about their how their schedule's shaking out for this season?
Yeah, a couple of points. I see them. The games of interest for me are obviously Boise State, uh, Cincinnati, South Florida, East Carolina, slash and even Memphis. There's about 5 games that really kind of look at me, and I think this team can either go 9-4 or 8-5. It depending on how well they go against those 5 teams. But I think 9-4, 8-5 is in their destiny, which is a marked improvement upon a 6-4 when they came out of that rebuild year. So if they can get anywhere from 8-5 to 9-4, then that's obviously a big improvement with Malzahn coming in and taking over the lead. I will say this: the success of the season is going to go through Batavius Thompson, the running back. He's 6'1", 197 pounds, average 6 yards per carry over 3 years with 8 touchdowns per year at 604 yards total. So I think if Batavius Thompson, if he can get there and establish himself behind that O-line and get that passing game going, then they should be doing fairly well. But they're going to need a good running game, which is the key to my offense. Get more from the running game and get stronger in the pass protection. So my key to my offense is get more from the run game and be stronger in pass protection. And that's why I'm telling you that we already know we got in the quarterback. You know what you're getting out of Gabriel. And I'm telling you, the key to that success for that season is going to rely on that run game. And that's where Batavius Thompson will be extramentally key to how far they go between either being 8-5, 9-4, or 7-6.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they've got some good players on both sides of the ball. There's some guys who are going to have to step up this year, and if they can improve, how's Gabriel going to do at the quarterback position for it might be his last season? We'll have to see. So, Jay, my final question is: are the UCF Knights going to be competing for the AAC Championship game at the end of the season? What do you think?
Okay, here's how I look at it.
Okay.
If the 2 fundamentals work out, then I will say yes. If they can get the production from the run game, like I talked about a minute ago, that's one key factor if they get there or not. The second key factor is, can this secondary tighten up and control and limit the amount of yards passing as much as they possibly can. If they can get some turnovers, if they can get some INTs or some pass deflections here and there, the secondary's got to tighten up, and they've got to get the run production out of Batavius Thompson and Harvey. So, right. Yeah, if those 2 key things happen, then, yeah, absolutely I can see them fighting for the ACC.
Yeah, I could see that too, man, because, I mean, I think it's going to be Cincinnati out of all the teams that they're going to be facing up against if they do end up getting there, because we talked about Cincinnati. That team is absolutely stacked. So they've got a few tough challenges.
If you look at it, the pivotal game, honestly, the pivotal game for their season is when they put – I'm not trying to be Captain Obvious, but Captain Obvious would say the pivotal game for this season is going to be Cincinnati. And that's the one football game. I'll tell you right now, the whole football season, the one game that I would concentrate most on is Cincinnati UCF, just to see if UCF can get to the ACC, and because that's going to be the pivotal game, obviously, for their season, right? And obviously, if they beat Cincinnati coming off a rebuild year, if they beat Cincinnati, how will that project them in the rankings, not only for this year but for next year?
That's a good point. That is a great point, Jay. So I think this team has the potential to get there. We'll have to see at the end of the day. But overall, man, if you're a Knights fan, you got to feel pretty confident coming into this year. Like I say, you have a few tough games. Cincinnati is definitely one you've had circled for a while now. And I know we're going to be checking that one out closely. But this Knights team, it could surprise some people. It could get in that championship game for a team that, like I said, last year they weren't supposed to be as good. They overachieved. And this year, can they build off of it? That's a great question. I think the transfers that they've got from, a lot from Auburn and from other schools as well, that's really going to help them out. They're getting guys who've played in big name schools, and I think that's going to help out the Knights this year. That's going to be my key, is how are these transfers going to step up for this Knights program? So that's what I think, man. But overall, this is a good team, I think. This is going to be a solid team who could be competing for that AAC championship at the end of the year. Well, if you guys have enjoyed this video here tonight, thank you guys so much for tuning in, whether you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch. Also, please go on and check out our podcast if you've not done so already. We're available anywhere that podcasts are available, whether it's Spotify, Apple, iTunes, iHeartRadio. We're also available with Audible with your Amazon account now, so go check us out over there. And June was our best month in terms of downloads, so let's hope that we can get July even better. So thank you guys so much for all the downloads over there and all the reviews. It means the world to us. Hey, for my guy, Jay McLovin, the best co-host in all of football broadcasting, my man. I appreciate you coming on the show and talking some UCF Knights with me today, my friend. I've been your host, Logan Landers. Hey, stay tuned because we got another great team preview in just a little bit.